So, as the legal drama surrounding P. Diddy continues to unravel, one thing we know for sure is that this story is far from over. There has been so many opinions, conspiracy theories, and speculations on this case. So, as always, we will only be discussing the facts from the documents of allegations against him. We will be discussing who are the celebrities named in this lawsuit and also what has been the response from Diddy's legal team. So, Sean Diddy Combs, or Brother Love, is a billionaire mogul who shows glitz, glam, and known to throw the best parties. However, the mysteries that lie underneath this luxury life has now been exposed. Back in the late 90s, Diddy was at the peak of his career. The Bad Boy Records empire, the hits, the parties, life was good. But then his close friend, rapper Notorious B.I.G, was gunned down in a drive-by shooting in Los Angeles. The tragedy case remained unsolved till this day. Then his best friend did years in prison for a shooting with Sean Combs, which he claims innocence till this day. And the mother of his children, Kim Porter, died of pneumonia that everyone says should be labeled as homicide till this day. So fast forward to 2023, the Survivor Act law dropped, and his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, dropped the bombshell of accusations, accusing him of rape, physical abuse, and a dark web of exploitation. And the very next day, she dropped this lawsuit and settled with P. Diddy for $30 million, dollars, raising eyebrows and leaving wondering minds of what really happened behind those closed doors. And just as fast as the storm ended was as fast as it began again, because producer Rodney Jones now wants his cut for sexual misconduct, grooming, and even involvement in sex trafficking, dropping names of many celebrities who may also be facing allegations.
Kim is dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only two left are Puffy and Al almost died. Isn't that interesting?
There's no way this kid should be getting, this man should be getting an icon award when all he has done was destroy the people around him.
Welcome back to another episode of Jazzy Times Crime. This is the unsolved case of Sean Combs. Sean John Combs was born in November of 1969 in the heart of Harlem, New York City. His father, Melvin Earl Combs, was an associate of a drug dealer, while his mother, Janice Combs, worked as a model and a teacher's assistant. Tragically, Sean's father was shot dead when he was just 3 years old, leaving an indestructible mark on his childhood. And after his father's death, Sean moved to Mount Vernon, where his mother raised him. He attended Mount St. Michael Academy in the Bronx, where he played football and even won the division title in 1986. It was at this Catholic boys' school that he first earned the name Puffy. Sean's journey into the music industry began when he worked as a talent director at Uptown Records. And there is where he discovered artists like Mary J. Blige and Jodeci, but Sean had bigger dreams. In 1993, he founded his own record label called Bad Boy Records, which would become a powerhouse in the hip hop world. He had an eye for talent that led him to discover Notorious B.I.G, who became another music mogul. And so in 1997, Notorious B.I.G was tragically murdered, and Sean dedicated his album to his friend called No Way Out.
I hope I'm dreaming. I can't believe it. Can't believe you ain't here. Sometimes it's just hard to wake up. It's just hard to just keep going. It's like I feel empty inside without you being here.
It was released at the wake of Notorious B.I.G. and its singles, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down and I'll Be Missing You, which topped the charts. And Sean was learning that fame comes with a price. The R&B singer Cassandra Ventura, aka Cassie, started dating Sean Combs in 2007, and they dated for 11 years, breaking up in 2018. Then Cassie started dating Alex Fine, who she married and welcomed a baby girl by August of 2019. Okay, everyone has moved on with their life, right? Well, on November 24, 2022, the New York Adult Survivors Act went into effect as a law that created a lookbook period, allowing adult victims of sexual assault and abuse to pursue claims in courts. And they had until November 24th of 2024. And Cassie filed a lawsuit, and the lawsuit included very serious allegations, which was abuse. She claimed that Diddy abused her during their relationship.
The video, captured on multiple cameras, shows Combs assaulting his then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hallway at a Los Angeles hotel in March 2016. A lawsuit filed by Ventura in November last year and settled the next day referenced actions that seem to match those seen in this video. There is no audio. According to the complaint, Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye, which, according to the lawsuit, prompted Ventura to try and leave the hotel room. The surveillance video obtained by CNN begins as she enters the hallway. The complaint says as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. The complaint goes on to say he grabbed her and then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her.
She said that he forced her to have sex with male sex workers, and he also recorded it. She accused him of rape and threats. She also mentioned that he introduced her to a fast-paced lifestyle, a drug-fueled lifestyle during their time together. And of course, Diddy denied these claims and settled the lawsuit just one day after the lawsuit was filed, offering her $30 million. But he says all of this is untrue, but $30 million is a lot of hush money for a lie. But anyways, fast forward to today. Sean P. Diddy Combs faces a storm of sexual allegations just from more than Cassie. Music producer Rodney Jones filed a $30 million lawsuit against Sean Combs. He also accused Sean of sexual assault, facilitated sex, drug trafficking schemes, and recorded it all. And this lawsuit is 74 pages long. It contains several bombshells and drops some big names in the celebrity world like Stevie J, some name of a Philadelphia rapper who used to date Nicki Minaj, Young Miami, Prince Harry, Bishop T.D. Jakes, Cassie. He also mentions the Georgia Mass Choir. He mentions Donald Lawrence. He mentions the Clark sisters. He mentions Smokey Norfolk. He mentioned Fahim Muhammad. Now, what makes this lawsuit stand out is that it dates back to 2022 when Little Rod worked with P. Diddy for about a year. And the bombshell here is not just the names involved, but also the potential evidence Little Ron claims to have, which is video footage on Diddy's laptops, cell phones, and hidden cameras in each room of Sean Combs' house. And according to experts, is likely what prompted the federal agents to search Diddy's home. The main place of evidence that law enforcement is seeking is video recordings or any device that may contain these recordings that Little Rod is accusing Diddy of. Little Rod alleges that Sean Combs went as far as touching Little Rod's private areas without consent and even attempted to groom him into engaging in same sex activities. He said that Diddy made promises to keep him quiet. These promises included $250,000 to buy instruments. He promised ownership in a $20 million property in Miami. And he even promised him a Grammy for Producer of the Year. Little Rod also name dropped Cuba Gooding Jr. He claimed that Diddy was grooming Little Rod to engage in sexual acts with Cuba. So P. Diddy introduced Little Rod to Cuba Gooding Jr. during a link up on P. Diddy's yacht. And photographs of their interaction have surfaced, shedding light on controversial encounter that has now become a reality. Cuba Gooding Jr. was seen engaging in what Little Rod described as grooming, but it did look like inappropriate behavior towards Little Rod. The picture reveals an image of Cuba Gooding Jr. and Sean Combs conversing with their arms intertwined. In another picture, Cuba is seen with his arm around Little Rod with like this mischievous grin. Little Rod also mentioned in his lawsuit Jennifer Lopez, claiming that she carried an illegal firearm for Diddy, which was allegedly used in the 1999 nightclub shooting in New York, which Sean Combs' best friend Shine did 10 years in prison for. So in 1999, when Jennifer Lopez and Sean Combs was dating, P. Diddy, y'all, I'm going back and forth, Sean Combs, P. Diddy, you know what I'm saying? P. Diddy and his best friend Shine were at a nightclub when a dispute escalated. Sean Combs called Jennifer Lopez and she came to the nightclub to give something to Sean. And next thing you know, a shooting incident happened that led to innocent people losing their life. And there was also a lady who got shot in the face. There was this big trial, and prosecutors led Jennifer Lopez as the connecting piece to the firearm. And although this was 1999 and Little Rod didn't come around until 2022, he is claiming that Sean Combs admitted to Little Rod that Jennifer Lopez was the one that brought him the weapon. And she had it in her purse when she went into the nightclub because she's Jennifer Lopez. Ain't nobody gonna check her, right? So Little Rod is saying that Jennifer Lopez was the one that gave Sean Combs the firearm. And Diddy was acquitted while Shine was convicted on weapon charges and reckless endangerment, resulting in 10 years of prison. Until this day, Shine has always said that he was innocent. And he said he even realized that his lawyers were getting paid by P. Diddy. And so it all made sense after he went to jail that he got set up. And so this is just a lot of opinions. This is, this isn't factual as far as proof. So I just wanted to throw that piece in there, but it's not a fact. There is no hardcore evidence that P. Diddy said, let's set him up. Little Rod also mentioned Prince Harry. He said that Sean Combs was known for hosting the best parties, attracting famous athletes, political figures, artists, musicians, and even Prince Harry. And at these parties, Sean Combs had certain bedrooms reserved for adult activities that were recorded and sometimes secretly recorded. And so Little Rod alleges that he would lace alcohol and provide it to minors and sex workers. He says he remembers a night when he began feeling lightheaded after Diddy allegedly drugged him. He recalls waking up the next morning naked with the sex worker beside him. And Little Rod mentioned other defendants he is also suing, including Christina Curum. She is Sean Combs' chief of staff. And he goes as far as comparing her to Jillian Maxwell. Rod stated that Christina Corum and others received financial benefits in exchange for assisting and facilitating sex trafficking for Sean Combs. And at the time of this recording, there has been no response from Christina regarding these allegations. But I believe it's worth reminding you that Everything Little Rod is alleging, he is saying it's all on camera. But the cameras are at Diddy's house, which is why the authorities raided his house. And they did this in broad daylight, which makes me believe there is some truth and strong evidence the detectives are confident about, because they normally do raids in the middle of the night, especially with high profile cases. Another confident move the authorities did was arrest 25-year-old Brandon Paul. Little Rod mentioned Brandon as a person responsible for acquiring and distributing drugs for Sean Combs. So Paul was recently arrested at the Miami airport while attempting to board a private plane. The charges against him involved the possessions of controlled substance, but he was later released on a $2,500 bail. And at the time of this recording, he has only been arrested for the possession of narcotics that were found in one of his bags on the airplane. Nothing to do with Sean Combs. But investigators may be interested in hearing more from Brendan Paul to use his cooperation to build a case against Sean Combs. Then again, Brandon may choose not to cooperate out of fear of backlash or being blacklisted. So we gonna see. However, the lawsuit goes on to state Sean Combs went from promising him the world to threatening him with physical harm.
The contract that they give me and the offer that they gave me was just disgusting. The producer fee, pennies, and on top of that, these guys are trying to steal my publishing. I can't go for that, so I'm fighting back. He's a fighter, but I'm gonna put in this fight. I gotta do it for myself, my rights, and most importantly, my kids. Taking my publishing or stealing it I'm not gonna let that happen. I was running around with the hard drives, the computer, just to run the ball on this album, to finish the production on it, make sure that this album came to, a good project with good vibes, just where it is right now. And just to be offered little to no participation in this is highly disrespectful. I won't be that guy 20, 30 years from now looking back saying, I wish I'd done this. I'm going to do this now. Doing this situation is not easy. Taking Puff to court, suing him is not easy. I don't have the monies that it's going to take to fight him.
Go ahead, because I run shit here, nigga. I run shit.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Little Rod ain't worth giving his kingdom to if we don't control his publishing. I can solve his efforts with 3 other human beings. He's eating at our table, and I like his backstory, but you need to have other people. It's hard to work with him unless we have his pub. He's a piece of shit human, but we do not need his talent unless we can work with him.
And shockingly, he even threatened to kill his own mom, Janice Combs. And again, I mean, the severity of these allegations is backed by hundreds of hours of footage and audio recordings taken by Little Rod, even recording Sean Combs' son, Christian, in the act with another woman. Little Rod's intent was to help that woman have proof on what was being done to her. So, Christian Combs has now been accused of sexual assault in a new lawsuit filed in a civil court in Los Angeles. The incident allegedly took place during a family holiday in St. Martin in 2022. The woman making the accusations, her name is Grace. She claims that Christian King Combs physically and sexually assaulted her while they were on a yacht. The incident happened just days before Sean Combs hosted a New Year's Eve yacht party with a long list of celebrity guests. So Christian Combs is accused of sexual assault, sexual harassment, and infliction of emotional distress. And in the lawsuit, she is also suing Sean Combs as the person who chartered the yacht. So he's also being sued for premises liability and for aiding and abetting his son in the alleged assault. So according to the lawsuit, the incidents happened between September 22 and February 26 of 2024, when Little Rod ended his relationship with Sean Combs. Now, Sean's legal team, P. Diddy's legal team, has strongly denied these allegations, asserting that they have overwhelming, indisputable proof that these claims are false, and they will. But another alleged victim is Joy Dickerson Neal. Her lawsuit, which was also filed under the Adult Survivors Act, dates back to 1991. As a psychology student at a university, she crossed paths with Sean Combs through mutual friends and even appeared in some of his music videos. And so their connection led to a date. But what followed was a nightmare. She alleges that Diddy intentionally drugged her, rendering her unable to stand or walk independently. And tragically, she discovered days later that he had raped her and recorded the act on video. She was so overwhelmed with confusion, pain, embarrassment, and shame, and she chose not to report the assault to the authorities at that moment. Um, and instead, she locked herself in her apartment, isolating herself from the world. And the aftermath of the assault sent her life spiraling out of control, resulting in her dropping out of college and battling suicidal thoughts that led her to seek psychiatric treatment. And then years later, Joy ran into Sean Combs again, but he fell to his knees and pleaded with her to believe that he did not do anything to her. But Joy did not care. She continued demanding a jury trial to ensure that her story is heard and that her pain is acknowledged. Another accuser, Lisa Gardner, has also filed a lawsuit against Diddy alongside another male defendant, Aaron Hall. Lisa's allegations, just like Joy's, date back to New York in 1990 when she encountered Diddy and Aaron at a event. And her lawsuit not only includes accusations of sexual abuse, but also physical abuse, setting it apart from the other lawsuits against Diddy. And another accuser who would like to be identified as a Jane, she brings forth shocking claims that back in 2003, when she was a 17-year-old student in the 11th grade, at that time, Diddy was twice her age, but Jane met Diddy through his friend Harvey Pierre, who she is also suing. Their encounter began innocently at a nightclub near Detroit. 11th grade at a nightclub? Okay. Little did Jane know that her life would take an unexpected turn. And after expressing a desire to meet Diddy, Jane was thrilled when Harvey Pierre arranged a phone call between them. Diddy wasted no time. They got on a private jet to New York, and allegedly, Harvey Pierre engaged in drug use, smoking crack cocaine from an aluminum can, and coerced Jane into performing oral sex. And the details of what transpired in New York remains a little blurry for Jane, but she claims to have been raped by both Diddy and Harvey Pierre, along with another identified third person. And she has requested to remain anonymous because she fears retaliation and vicious backlash. So this case is so overwhelming and not even close to ending. So stay tuned for more updates. To hear more celebrity cases, click right here. To subscribe to this channel so that you never miss another video, click right here. I love you, and we shall talk again in the next episode of Jazzy Times Crime.